Do you know how to be a supportive partner? That's what we're going to talk about today. And be sure to go back and watch my last week's video on the 7 common mistakes people make when trying to show support. Because we need sometimes to know what doesn't work before we can fix and do what does work. And if you're new here, my name's Michelle Ferris. I'm a psychotherapist and I love helping people create relationships without sacrificing their big hearts. So the first thing I want you to do when trying to show support is let the other person tell their story. So the goal in being a support person is to be the witness and to listen. We don't have to fix it. We don't have to be judge and jury, okay? I want you to realize what your role is. Your role is to be a support, to show that you care. You don't have to do anything else, okay? This isn't your problem to solve. And sometimes when we know what our responsibility is, it dissipates that weight, where instead of feeling responsible for somebody's pain, we can just be in it, okay? Because it's not our pain. We can just be the witness and say, yes, I see you. Yes, I hear you, okay? Now, the second part I want you to do is I want you to pick one thing that they're saying that you can relate to. Because what that's going to do is that's going to help you listen and stay engaged in the conversation. So maybe you've had a similar experience, or you can totally relate to where they're at emotionally. Pick something, because that's going to help you stay focused on them. Because the gift in being a support person is that they need your attention. So don't do this when you're distracted, when you're stressed, when you're hungry, because you're not going to convey a supportive stance. So that's what I want you to do, is make sure you're in the right frame of mind. Number 3, I want you to ask questions. Because when we're too quiet, which is a common problem, the other person doesn't really feel like we're with them. And if you can ask some clarifying questions, maybe you're confused about something, don't get too tripped up in the details of their story. I would definitely have the questions be more emotionally based, like, wow, how was that for you? That must have been really hard. Tell me more about that. Things like that, where you're getting them talking more, okay? This is not the time to share your own experience. This is really the time to ask questions about them, okay? And again, it's going to be really good practice for you to stay focused on that conversation, okay? Number 4, let them have their pain. Okay, and this can be hard, especially if you're codependent or you tend to feel other people's feelings. The role of the witness is to just see and hear what's happening and validate. Okay, if you can validate, yes, I see you, yes, I hear that that's really hard, that's loving. That's a way we can show support. But if we try to change how somebody else is feeling or cheer them up, they can feel like their story is invalidated. And we just want to rush through to happy feelings. And we don't want that. We want them to feel supportive. So if they're in grief, if they're in anger, if they're in frustration, if they're in sadness, just let that be their experience. And be careful not to let their experience become your experience. So you may want to have an invisible boundary between them and you, okay? Especially if this person is highly emotional, because you don't want to take on their feelings as a support person. You want to let them have their feelings. And that's part of the role of the witness, is to let them have their feelings without taking responsibility for them, okay? Number 5, ask them what they need right now. If you're at a loss, if you don't know what kinds of questions to ask this first, okay? Because everybody sees support differently. And if you ask that question, that really shows that you're wanting to know what they specifically want and need at that moment. So if you're just saying, hey, you know what, I'm not really sure how to support you. What do you need right now? How can I help? It's a very open-ended question so that they can say, you know, I really want a hug, or I really just need you to listen. Because then you know what the job is, and it's far easier. So sometimes if you're really stuck, I would just start with asking, how can I support you? What do you need from me today? And then you know what your role is, and you'll be far less nervous in having the conversation. Number 6 is give them permission to be exactly where they're at. Okay, you don't need to change or fix it or give advice. This is kind of along the same lines as letting them have their feelings, but this is, you're not fixing it, you're just letting them be where they're at. And sometimes when people are really upset, we want to fix it. We want to make them feel better, and sometimes that just doesn't work. So the best thing you can do to be a support person is to just let them be. Okay, and sometimes you can infuse a little bit of hope by saying things like, this will pass, you're gonna get through this. But be careful, because if we give them too much hope, like, oh, don't worry, this will go away on its own, it'll get better tomorrow, some situations won't. And we don't wanna give them that false hope, okay? We wanna give them a little bit of hope that, hey, you're not alone, I love you, I'm gonna be here for you no matter what. That can be a really caring thing to do, but we don't want to give them false hope in a way that makes them feel like their story or their pain is less than what it is, okay? Now, the next step I want you to do is I want you to go get my relationship checklist and become part of my community, because I have so many resources for you if you're interested in relationship help, because assessing our relationships is really how they get better. Because if I don't ever look at my relationships, it's really hard to know what to fix. And in this checklist, it's all about you and your relationships. And I want to help you dive into that. So I'll leave that in the description of this post too. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.